Right, so we have arrived at the outro of Psychology Week. Now, I just quickly wanted to summarize what we've went over and what we actually talked about and the point of Psychology Week, etc. Just to sort of quickly reinforce the idea before we start off with MMP Week. So what we've done here, in the first 2 weeks, we've actually created a trading plan, somewhat of the basics of a trading plan. Again, inside MMP Week, you will learn more and more details about that as well. But once we have those guidelines and we have something to stick to, so we have a trading plan, we have the guidelines, that is very important, of course, what we talked about as well. What we're doing after that is we're constantly identifying emotion, identifying the cycle, and then breaking the cycle. So it's a repeating process. It's constantly the same. This happens right here. You're constantly doing the same. You're identifying an emotion, identifying a cycle, and then you're breaking the cycle. And this constantly repeats. So you don't do this once. No. You do it over and over and over and over. So if it helps, you can watch the videos over and over and over from the start, every time you encounter a psychology error, etc. And then eventually we can fix that problem right there. So we constantly want to be repeating the steps. So we have gone over the foundation. Again, the first thing we need, if we want to build very high, we need to start off with a great foundation, of course. Then we have becoming aware. And the whole steps that we took right here, essentially what you're doing is you're becoming aware, because you're becoming aware of your own emotions and your own cycles. So slowly but surely, you are becoming aware. And that is very important. Then you have your own routine, which is that journaling, right? What we journal before, during, and after trading. We journal our emotions. Then we have the sheets that we worked with. Then we have our brain capacity. Again, the whole reason why we are doing this, etc., etc. And then again, we journal right there. Pen and paper, be positive, vent, etc. What went good, what went a little bit less today, what can we work on, etc. Everything that comes to mind right there. And then again, the last but not least, of course, this is your edge. So again, once you have taken all these steps, you are very close to actually getting into trading. Again, not financial advice, of course, but you are very close. Now, again, it is important to understand that it becomes easier. And what do I mean by that? Is that these first steps and then eventually jumping into the deep end after MMP Week, of course, because you're not ready yet after MMP Week. Then after MMP Week, it can be difficult to jump into the deep end and it will hurt. You will feel a lot of pain. But again, it is this Psychology Week that will help us control those emotions. So that is very important to understand. And then over time, once you stick to the same things, to the same process, to the same trading plan, the same strategy, the same psychology plan as well, constantly, then it will become very easy if you just give it time. If you constantly keep on switching around, then it will become very difficult as well. Well, I would argue then it becomes impossible. You're making it yourself very hard and it shouldn't be that hard. So have you been an SOS trader, etc.? All these things are now questions you can ask yourself, and how can we prevent ourselves from falling back into the cycle? So of course, accountability. If you're here in the mentorship, etc., you have accountability, etc. But these are extremely important as well. All right, and then tomorrow we start off with an MMP intro. Perfect. Thank you.